from the heart of the Ozarks. Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of Knitworthy. This is Wednesday, June 25th. I had to look down on my notes. Isn't that terrible?
It's all right. It's all right. Sometimes it's one of those days.
I knew it was a Wednesday at least, so that's something. I am Brianne, also known as Being Brianne on Ravelry and Instagram. This is my gorgeous mother.
You always say that. It always catches me off guard. I'm Linda, and I'm also known as Stony Brook on Ravelry and Instagram.
Yes, you are. And we just want to say welcome to our home. We are podcasting today from the beautiful Ozarks of Missouri. And where are you? I want to know.
Listen.
What? I love it there.
It's my favorite place.
I've always wanted to visit.
Have you ever had the pie there?
Oh my gosh, it's so good. If this is your first time watching, we are so glad that you are here and joining us today for a little bit of knitting or crocheting or spinning or sewing or whatever it is that you're doing. We're both knitting right now.
Today we're knitting.
Yes. And if this is your second, third, fourth time coming to watch with us, welcome back. We're so glad that you're here. It's so nice to have people who watch and interact with us and let us know what they like and how much fun they have when they're knitting alongside us.
Oh, it's so encouraging.
It is.
You know, people who leave comments, it's not in vain.
No.
It's such a boost to our ambition to keep it going because it's fun to have the feedback that people are enjoying
Absolutely.
what we're doing.
Although, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd probably still be doing this even if nobody watched because it's
now
fun.
that I know how fun it is.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like there's justification for all the stuff I was already doing now. Spending like every minute knitting, so.
It's for the podcast.
Yes.
I have to finish this.
You have to.
Yeah.
People are expecting. You guys are expecting it.
You people, your high expectations. So anyways, what are you wearing?
Well, I am carrying on my theme of wearing knitwear every episode.
Yes.
And
tried and true. She's doing this, people.
And this is my Doctor Who season 14 scarf.
Okay, that thing is massive.
It is massive. Now, Doctor Who, for those of you who may not know, is an English institution.
Yes.
It has been around, I think, since the 50s. It was black and white, some of the first episodes that I saw. He has been reinvented, or there's another word for it, but I'm not thinking of it right now, where there's a new doctor that enters the scene. It's the same doctor, but a new look.
Yeah.
And
can I just say, like, it takes me a while to adjust to the new doctors.
It is hard.
I'm always like, but
the other one.
why?
Yeah.
And then, like, I fall in love with a new doctor, and then they change him again, and I'm like, but I love the other doctor so much more. And then I fall in love, and it's just it's a cycle. I think they do it on purpose.
And you know, I'd never been into science fiction before.
No.
So much. I mean, I'd watch Star Wars and things like that, but it was that whole original group of people I met on Ravelry who said, you have to watch. Mm-hmm. And some of them started doing the Doctor Who scarf. And if you can believe it, this scarf is, I'm 5'3", mm-hmm. and it is 2.5 of me or more.
It's huge.
Okay, so I can do any number of things with this, but this, if you can believe it, is the mini version.
That's huge.
I only made it like half as wide as what it called for. The original Doctor Who scarf was worn by a doctor, I'm going to probably, whatever the 14th season's doctor was.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, could have been 70s, maybe. Sure. My era. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Doesn't that sound good?
Oh, yeah. That sounds
right.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's right. But anyway, so there's groups on Ravelry, and if you want camaraderie, these people are fanatical.
Yes.
You can't just get close to the Doctor Who scarf.
Mm-hmm.
You have to actually get the perfect colors, so you can get in there and discuss colors willy-nilly all the time, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
But this is done out of knit picks, and I love it. And it's so fun because if you wear it, There'll be people who will look at you because this scarf is like trailing behind you. And they look at you like you're nuts. And then I've been like out and about, and all of a sudden someone looks at me and they go, is that a Doctor Who scarf?
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't it fun?
Yeah.
And so it's really, if you want to make friends, wear a Doctor Who scarf. And I love the way it looks. I'm not going to stand up because I'm wearing short pants with my knitwear. After last week, I said no more. I was so tired of seeing myself mopping my brow, and so I put the hair up, and I'm trying so hard. I have so many things I do that bug me when I watch this back for editing. Yeah. So it's like the glasses adjustment. Come on, how many times do I have to do that? They do keep falling down my nose.
You can't help that.
And then I'm sweating, and I'm trying to adjust my hair and get the sweat. You don't need to know this. This doesn't make the podcast more appealing, does it? The sweat episode.
I don't know. Maybe.
So let's just cut it off there. Anyway.
We talked about poop the first episode. I think that sweating is a lot less bad than poop is.
Oh, no.
You tell us.
I'm all about the potty talk, apparently. I don't know. So anyway, very fun knit. And there's, there's a lot of young people who still have who are catching the fever of Doctor Who, and it is like an institution in England. Yes. They are very reverent about their doctors.
Our worship pastor at church, we go to a very casual church. It's a mix of what people wear, but it's like a month ago, our worship pastor wore a Doctor Who shirt, and it was awesome.
Did he really?
His name is Evan. Evan, if you're watching, hello. I know he watched the first one.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, but he's trying to learn how to knit because he specifically wants to make a Doctor Who scarf.
Oh, we should totally enable him for that.
I know. I told him, I said, bring your knitting to church and I'll help you with it. I'm happy to.
I bet there's a lot of people, too, who have never seen a Doctor Who episode.
Yeah.
You can find Doctor Who on Netflix. BBC America will show episodes, and I'm so jealous because I no longer have cable or satellite, and so everything we do is on the internet, and I have yet, if you can believe it, I have not seen any of the new Doctors.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I've seen any of the new Doctor Who's.
So I need to figure out how to do that. I'm sure maybe Hulu or I don't know.
No.
Maybe do I have to buy episodes? What do I do?
I have no idea. If you know how we can get our hands on Doctor Who, like the newer stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to get caught up because... I mean, it was like really traumatic where it left off, and then I have no idea. I assume he's gone on because people are all chit-chatty about him, but...
He's still around. Yeah.
Yeah, so he hasn't disappeared or anything.
No.
Yeah, so it's a campy sci-fi.
Yes.
So it is, you suspend your belief in rational things, and it is the funniest sci-fi characters. I mean, there was one that were little blobs of, I'm going to forget the name. Is it adipose?
Yes.
There was like little fat blobs, and it was this space colony that were selling fat reducing medicines, but they were really implanting their babies in the fat people. I totally related to that.
That's right.
And people were all excited because they were getting skinny. And it was like a miracle cure. You know how miracle cures pass around here. It's like, if you hold your toe up and eat a lemon, you could lose weight, and everybody tries it. Yeah. And so in this episode, all of the babies are born, but at the expense of the people who were hosting them. But they're cute little, looks like little Pillsbury Doughboy adipose babies. And if you can believe it, I found a pattern on Ravelry. I'll have to see if I could.
You did not.
I did.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can't find on Ravelry that people have not knitted. Did that make any sense at all? You can find a lot of things to knit on Ravelry.
There's nothing you can't. All those negatives in there really
too many
mess me up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think I'll try and see if I can find it before I finish doing our editing, and I'll try and link to the adipose baby knit.
Put it in the show notes.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So it's just very lighthearted but serious stuff, people.
Lighthearted but serious. That's quite a...
And sci-fi.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite a mixture.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we have a new... What would it be? Like a new segment.
We'll call it a segment.
Yes.
Yeah. In one of our threads, we had Hot Pink Socks, who is Stephanie. And she suggested gooseberries for a segment name.
Yes.
And I thought, actually, gooseberries are pretty tart, but they make pies and cobblers out of them and jams and things. And so I thought they're tasty little bits that you discover. So I thought we are going to name that for our Tasty Weekly Chit Chat thread.
Yay!
All right, so I do have a few things for our gooseberry segment. A tasty little thing.
I don't know if mine could. I don't know if mine
You
counts.
start. You start.
Well, okay.
I'm going to count it.
Tasty little. Okay, so this may not. Oh gosh. So I have a 10-year-old son. Okay.
Oh, this is already heading a direction.
It really is. I have a 10-year-old son, and we're starting to. He'll be 11 in September, and we're starting to go through. We're talking about the changes that you go through. The changes. Yes. Note the air quotes. The changes. So, anyways, this morning he was getting dressed, and I can hear him from the other room, and he goes, "Mom, all my shirts smell gross." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" So I walk into the closet, and he has got like probably 6 shirts on the ground, and he goes, "All of my shirts smell gross. Did you do something to the laundry?" And I'm like, "No." So I pick up the shirt and I smell. I'm like, "It's fine." And he goes, "Well, it smells gross." I said, "Well, let me ask you a question. Did you put on your deodorant this morning?" He goes, "Oh, deodorant." And so he goes into the bathroom, he puts on his deodorant, he comes back, and I'm like, "How do you smell now?" And so he goes like this, "I smell like springtime." So that's my week little chit chat.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect.
Yes.
I love it.
What do you have? I'm sure that you have something even more fabulous than that.
Well, no, yours is fabulous.
That was just off the top of my head.
I was loving the suggestions I was getting from people about what to do about my sombrero.
Oh, yes.
Yes, lots of good ideas.
So what kind of suggestions did you have?
Well, I had some suggestions about using it as a wall hanging.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And I had some suggestions for making it into coasters.
That's a very useful suggestion.
Very useful.
Very handy.
And then somebody also suggested that I take the middle that is popped up.
Yes.
And I cut that part and either reknit a middle or cut it to fit and flatten it. Just edit that part down.
Sure.
And then re-sew it back together. Fabulous ideas.
Do that, sure.
So I am in the midst of I actually had hoped to get it done for this episode, but I didn't.
Well, I mean, it takes on the backside of the whole podcast what happens. Lately we've been recording on Wednesdays, and then Mom edits, and then I take the computer over to Grandma's house, who has the awesome Wi-Fi, and I upload to Podcast Garden, who does our hosting, and I upload to YouTube, and then I do show notes, and I put up the notification on Ravelry that we are up. So that's how it works, and this takes a few days. So this is actually Wednesday. You probably may not see this until possibly Saturday. Sorry, that's how it works.
Yeah, so it was just Saturday when we were getting this up.
So we didn't have very many days to actually do anything with it.
And we were kind of, we have to monitor the threads more because there's more activity after we've posted something. So
you guys talk and we like it.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
It is.
So anyway, I just was very inspired by these ideas.
Okay.
So I would like to cut away right now.
Ooh, the magic of editing.
I illustrated some of your ideas. I thought you might enjoy looking at what some of your ideas look like. So here we go. Fade to Sombrero Ideas. Can you believe that Dad volunteered? It was his idea. He goes, "Let me wear it, and you can video me."
That is hilarious.
And if you knew my husband, that's not like him.
Not at all.
But I think he's catching the podcast fever.
Has he watched one yet?
Not a whole one.
Okay.
But I did sit him down and I had a very serious talk with him. I go, I really need you to like what I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you parts of my podcast.
What did you show him the part where Martina starts singing?
I did.
What did he say?
He was just all stoic and he goes, that's cute. So, it's not really his thing. That's okay. But he's actually one. He thinks that the kind of humor that he loves is like Three Stooges and people falling and all that. And unless we start doing shenanigans like that, it's not going to be funny to him.
Yeah. I would have to really brush up on my Three Stooges in order to do that kind of podcast.
I think it involves eye poking. I'm sure your kids can train you in that. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah. They've got that down.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Shall we talk about what we're knitting on? Why don't I talk about what I'm knitting?
Yeah, I'm done talking.
She's done. That's it. She's already talked enough. Okay, well, I am currently knitting on, kind of in an awkward place here. Please don't fall off my needles. I started this project, it's the Featherweight cardigan, and I started it in March. This is Featherweight 2.0. The first featherweight that I made, which is actually out of the same yarn, which is Anzula Breeze. It's a beautiful Anzula Breeze.
Oh.
Anzula. I could probably look and tell you what the fiber content is. Can I?
Good idea.
Can I easily? Here we go. Yes, Anzula Breeze. And, sorry for the crinkling.
Yeah, last time I used a bag like that, it was like, oh my word, I had no idea how it was amplified.
So loud.
Yeah.
So this is 65% silk and 35% linen. And, let's see, 750 yards, plus or minus, it says. I don't know how many yards I have exactly.
Where did you get it?
I got this at, oh shoot.
I haven't been there.
In in Springfield.
Oh, at Simply Fibers.
Simply Fibers, yes.
Which isn't there anymore. Don't go.
It's not. You can try. I think the sign is still up for it, though. That must be very misleading.
I keep hoping that Carol will come back and open Simply Fibers.
She is moving back.
She is?
But I don't think she's opening up a yarn store again.
Well, we'll have to just keep bugging her until she does.
Yeah.
Because it was really fun.
We will tap on your shoulder until you come. And
people want to make
store.
money on those things, so
I know.
She didn't want to just keep it open for the heck of it for us.
It's true. But anyways, I started this. I made a whole featherweight sweater, which for me took a very long time because I'm not a stick. And so it took me a while to get to the point where it was finished. And the day after I finished it, they posted a message where there was modifications to the pattern because of the larger sizes. The arm side area was too big because it's knit from the top down seamless. So
you can't, if you're a larger size, you can't just multiply numbers and have it turn out because
you really have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so I looked at the modifications that they made. And oh my gosh, Mom, it was changes down to the cast on for my size. Even, it's not like I could just rip back and, change a little bit. It was, even just the cast on numbers were completely different. And so I worked for about a month and then I ended up warping it out and washing the yarn and rescanning it and everything.
I think I cried.
You did cry. You were like, why? I just couldn't live with it the way that it was. I know. I couldn't live with it the way that it was, though. And so I decided I'd put it away for several years. And I'm now picking it back up again because I really want to have that sweater. I'm not looking forward to knitting it again, though.
What size needle is it again?
I'm using my Chowgoo needles, my interchangeables. And this is a size 5 needle, and it's with a lace weight yarn. So here's my needles. I love my Chowgoos, by the way. If anyone wants my opinion, I'm going to give it to you. I love them. They're fantastic. And so let me show you. Here's where I left off. I knitted this much. It's that orange marker right there. That's how much I had. And I picked it back up on Monday, and I've knitted this much since Monday, so about 3.5, 4 inches. So yeah, this is definitely a long-term project for me. I'm not looking to get this done in the next week or month, but I'm really, it's stockinette. It's really not anything too terribly, like brain intensive, but yeah.
But lovely colors though, very calming and peaceful, so I think it would be a relaxing knit.
I like it. It is.
As long as you don't have a deadline or something.
Right. Now, the only thing about this yarn is it's a very delicate yarn. And not just because it's lace weight, because of the fiber content, the linen and the silk, it breaks really easily. So,
really?
Yes. So, when I was first knitting it, I was not aware of how I needed to be careful with it. So, I ended up with like all these, when I reskeined it, and I've gone through like 3 of them already. So I have many skeins of yarn to work with, but it's okay. It feels beautiful though. You just have to be really mindful not to tug too hard on the yarn, and to be more gentle when you're knitting it.
I'm so surprised.
I don't know if
it's that
it's the
tender.
linen.
I have had a wool yarn. I was trying to think it was Peace Fleece, I think.
Yeah.
That was super. I got a batch that was super breakable.
Yeah.
But apparently it's not a regular condition for them, but it was in what I happened to get. Yeah.
So anyways, that's what I'm knitting on right now. I do have one more thing that I'm knitting on. And that would be my husband's socks. And I put a heel on them. Let me see if I can get all the yarn straightened out here. So I decided to do a Fish Lips Kiss heel again, because I wanted to kind of cement that pattern in my brain.
Good idea.
And it was definitely faster going now that this is my 3rd sock that I've knitted a Fish Lips Kiss heel in. And this is just trekking XXL. I think it's colorway 326. Yes. And there we go. There's the yarn for you. And I always love trekking. Trekking is such a good, dependable yarn. So.
I don't think I've used it yet. So.
How? Yes, you have.
I have?
I think you have. Oh, no, maybe those were socks I knitted for you.
Well, I might have used it in a hexapuff, too.
That's true.
Not known it, so.
That's true. It hides everywhere. Is it in your hexapuff yarns? I don't know. You
Probably
tell me.
Is. I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what I'm knitting on. What are you knitting on?
Well, I am knitting.
I'm dropping stuff all over the place today.
I know. I have a ball of yarn under the desk now. Well, I am knitting on. I'm going to ask Eileen. I didn't just get out of the camera, did I? This was the Wool Sunday yarn.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I think I need to put my project down. There we go. Let's try this. Wool Sunday. For those of you on Instagram, you've already seen this. I don't know. There's not a neat size because I've actually started using it. But I have 2 lovely balls of this. And so Manda Jane from our group.
Yes.
And, I think she goes by Manda. Manda Jane was so sweet and gifted me a pattern for, I'm going to look here, the Bluebell shawl. Super cute.
Yes.
Okay. And so it has, you start at the bottom and it has these motifs that you're doing. And I am only this far in it, but that's okay. But what I'm finding, this is the Polworth yarn. I've never knit with it. I had never spun with it, and now I'm knitting with it, and it is so, can you feel the spring in this, Brianne? As opposed to what you have, I'm sorry. Can I interrupt you?
Yes.
Can you feel how much it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to try and show you. Look. Spring. Do you see? It's got a lot of elasticity in it.
Yes, it does.
Love that. And so I am, just a few rows into it. I do not want to loosen up the needles here. But I am really enjoying this. Now, I've learned some new stitches.
You didn't say what pattern it was.
I think I did.
You did?
I have to look again. Bluebell shawl.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a new designer for me. There's a couple things that I had only done like once or twice, so I'm going to get to a couple techniques of knitting. And there was like I'm going to get it wrong. you slip a stitch and then you knit the next 2 stitches together and then you pass the slip stitch over, and there's a purl version too. And I had done it many years ago, but I'm getting to get a chance to get really good at it here. So I did that, and she also does one where it's like you knit into the second stitch, knit into the first stitch, and then slide it off, which I love, so you don't have to use a cable needle for that. So I'm enjoying it. The only thing is I don't have a lot of experience in lace work, and so it takes more brain effort, which is good for me. Yeah. But I am really enjoying it.
Good.
And I'm looking forward to kind of seeing. I really didn't want to stop what I'm knitting to do this.
You're interrupting her knitting time.
And I can't do it while I podcast because I got to watch.
Right.
But what I end up doing, I have a knitting notebook, or knitting journal, I should say, and I'll show it sometime. But I ended up writing it out because in our bedroom, we just have my iPad to watch TV on. Yeah. And so
they call it the big screen.
We call it the big screen. If it's near your face, it's big.
That's right.
And so I can't use my Knit Companion to keep track of my pattern and watch a movie.
Right.
So I ended up writing down the note for whatever the next line was in my journal, and I keep my journal out. And what I noticed was that everybody probably has a different way of doing it, but I end up doing, like, in order to, each line is different, so it's not like you're going to get one pattern down and have it forever.
Right.
So I end up doing a mantra like knit, knit, purl, purl,
Yeah.
I kind of say it to myself as I go, and she has it written in there. We were talking about last week about keeping track of pattern repeats with your stitch markers. She has that as part of her pattern. It made me love her right away.
There you go.
Yeah, and so it already has helped me because
Good.
I was off a couple times between when I got to the end, I wasn't at the right spot. Yeah. And so I go, okay, well, I know there's a problem in here and I can go back and fix it. But I have to say, I'm a lazy knitter. So if there is a way for me to if I'm only off one, I'll add a stitch if it's not easily, if I can't easily fix it, I'll just add a stitch and go, oh well. So, but you know what? There's a lot of people that will go back and fix things and their stuff is going to look beautiful. But mine is more about having the fun thing. So I don't worry about it too much unless I see that it's making a difference or a big difference in how it looks. But sometimes in the overall scheme of things, adding a stitch is fine.
That's true.
So that's what I'm working on.
Well, why don't you tell me what you finished?
My first chance to use Eileen since the naming contest. And last week I said I would try and get past the heel. This is where I was last week. And I said, you know what? I just want to be done. So
you powered through that bad boy, didn't you?
I did, but I'm not happy with my Fish Lips Kiss heel.
Why?
I'll show it to you first.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what I did, but it's not as crisp and clean as I normally think it is on other people's projects. Let me show you the other side now. So I'm wondering if I didn't do something right. Does that look right?
Not entirely.
Yeah, so I'm doing something wrong and I'm not sure what.
You might just need to go back to the pattern.
I will.
Take it back to basics.
There's probably like something really that's a basic, like you say, a basic thing that I've omitted from my brain. The other thing I wanted to show you is the bind off on the cuff, which is a little uneven for some reason. And I'm gonna wear these socks. I'm not worried about that stuff, but I would like to find out what I'm doing wrong, but it's not enough for me to rip back. Okay, so I did what did I do? Jenny's, I always lose track. Jenny's stretchy bind off, is that it?
Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. It's not just stretchy, it's surprisingly stretchy.
Surprise!
There you go.
Yeah, so I did Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, and it really prompted me to want to do a study of the different stretchy bind offs. Okay, so I'm in the process of testing each one out, and I'm hoping, I'm going to say it so it makes me accountable.
Okay.
All right, I'm saying it because I want to do kind of like a tutorial where you look at the different to see which is indeed the stretchiest according to my, not scientific, but I will give you my best opinion. And and then I'd like to come up with possibly a tutorial on my favorites. I don't see the need to do ones I don't like.
Here's the cast off that I really hate. I'm not going to do this.
But in the process, I found 2 different stretchy cast-offs that I had not really had a lot of experience with. And it reminded me, oh my goodness, I could have been using this one too. Yeah. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have in one place? You know, and it'll be a good reminder for me, and it might be fun for you guys too.
Absolutely. Very cool.
That's that. I need a drink.
You take a drink, and I'll show you the things that I finished this week. So the first thing that I finished is, I finished my Camp Loopy socks. This is for project 1 of Camp Loopy, and the theme was to knit a 400-yard project of something like that makes you think of like a book or a movie or a television series, something like that. So I, of course, did Harry Potter themed because hello, Harry Potter. And so these are Hermione's everyday socks. I'm going to show you the stitch pattern there. Isn't that pretty?
It is very pretty.
These are made from Dream and Color Smushy in the Elfish Sweets.
Don't you love their colors?
I do.
Yeah.
They are beautiful, beautiful colors. I love the way they all blend together. And these were so nice that my husband said, I will let you make me some of those. And what do you know? They turned out to be his size. So these are going to be for him for Christmas. And you can kind of tell a little bit, they're a little bit longer than my sock blocker here in the heel and in the toe, so they will be perfect Brian size. His name is Brian, and my name is Brianne. And we have people ask us, did you plan that?
I planned to fall in love with someone with my name. Finding a guy named Linda would have been hard.
That's true. Lindo, perhaps? I don't know. Anyways. Maybe. But yeah, we have people ask us that, and we're like, no. But it is very easy to remember our names.
It is.
Yes. So these will be for Brian.
Can I ask you to do something?
Yes.
See if you can give them a view of the top of your cuff. It is so beautiful. She has done an excellent job of binding off. Did you use Jenny's?
I did.
Okay, and you varied it for knits and pearls, right?
I did. So here's my bind off.
It's very pretty.
And it is very stretchy. Look at that bad boy.
And can you give them the aerial shot of how lovely it looks?
Like
Look
that?
at that. Yes. That is a thing of beauty.
Thank you. Yes.
Brianna's one, her work is always impeccable. Mine is goodish.
I don't think that yours is goodish. I think yours is really good too.
Well, I try for good, but I just can't bring myself to aim for perfection. I don't see one thing you should change on that. It's lovely.
Thank you very
Good
much.
job.
Thank you very much. And I also did these are the socks that I modified everything on. So I normally do magic loop. I did DPNs. This is a 64 stitch pattern, and I used 72. And I used a size 0 needle instead of a size 1. And I did them toe up instead of cut down. And then I did the fish lips kiss heel instead of a heel flop. So pretty much it's not even really the same pattern anymore. The only thing that's the same is the stitch pattern in here, but that's okay.
Would you mind showing them what a fish lips kiss heel should look like?
Sure.
So they can, since I just showed my fail that didn't quite go. I mean, it holds the heel together.
Here's what it looks like. See if am I close enough there? I think so. So that's what it looks like, and I'll kind of unscrunch it or untension it so you can see. So that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's a fish lips kiss heel.
Maybe someday down the line, we'll do a study on heels. I might have you do that.
I would like to do that.
I think that would be a good one for you since you're good at that. And because there's several I've heard about Fleegle heel, right?
Yes. Sweet tomato.
Yes. And so I think it'd be really good. I mean, you could even just knit a band and then put a heel on it. Don't try and do a whole sock.
Yeah, that would take a really long time.
Yeah.
Although I would like to. That has been something that I've been trying to work on, is using different heels, because I do a lot of socks, people. That's not going to change. But I would like to do different techniques so that I can learn them and feel comfortable with them and see, maybe I like this one better than the one that I usually use.
Yes. And she just has the sock thing down, so.
I do love socks.
Yes.
I love them. Love them. Okay, so the other thing that I finished.
You finished?
I finished. Surprise! Oh, here we go.
My word.
Okay, so this is the Find a Penny pattern by Lindsay Tabsh. Tabsh. I'm pretty sure that's the way you say it.
That's a name I've never heard.
Unless the H is silent. Tabs? I don't know. But here you go. This is with Fable Fibers, Biography DK weight in the Lagoon colorway. And see that beautiful art yarn? That's Mom's. It's really hard to see. Let me find a sparkly area for you because that's my favorite.
I have to say that I am so thrilled that you did this because I'm definitely going to do that scarf.
So here, can you see the sparkle? There you go. There's some sparkle right there. I love this. Now, I made it bigger than what the pattern called for. The pattern called for like 66 stitches cast on, and then you knit for a certain amount of rows or inches, and then you start doing like a eyelet row. Well, I did the art fiber instead, and
because it called for the eyelets, right?
It did, but I wanted to showcase the art yarn instead of doing like eyelets with it. I wanted just plain stockinette rows for that.
Yeah, it is not in your face at all.
No,
but it is so interesting, and what a fun way to showcase it. And I love the little bits that pop out the back. And you know, sometimes when you wear a scarf, the back will show, but it had little bits of
I tried to pop some of them through. Some of them, you know, were really huge and wanted to stay in back, but
and that is normal. I have to say, when I have done swatch knitting with art yarns, they all they want to go to the back. So you have to, if you want some of them in the front, you just pull them through.
Yep. So I ended up ripping out the amount that I had, and starting over again, and I added like 30 stitches to it. So that I wanted it to be longer and not, you know, not as short as she had it. So I cast on and I knitted for longer. I added in a third row of the art yarn, and then I did the alternate picot bind off. Picot bind off takes forever. Have you ever done a picot bind off?
Not like that. I've done another kind, but yes, it's all those extra stitches.
Yes, it is. But I'm so happy with the way that it turned out. So this is, I'm gonna wear this now.
I am
show you my knitting.
I am so impressed. I mean, I couldn't have dreamed for a better use of that yarn. Now tell me, how do you feel about knitting with core spun?
It's definitely different. I think part of the thing is that the core spun is a lot heavier of a yarn than the DK weight is. If I were to do this again, I would probably have picked out a worsted weight.
Would you? Okay.
Instead of big.
But it sure looks beautiful.
It does. I blocked the heck out of this thing.
Did you?
I did. I used my blocking wires and I pinned it out and stretched it. It was screaming a little bit. Exactly. I was like, I'm so sorry, but you're going to be beautiful. Beauty hurts.
It hurts to be beautiful.
It does.
Yeah,
and so
it's lovely.
I really like the way that it turned out. I'm really happy with it.
This is one that I think Peggy needs to see.
Peggy, look at this.
Peggy, don't close your eyes. Look at it.
Look.
Yeah. When you take a photo for your project page, I definitely want to send her this because she is going to be. I'll be able to hear her from Colorado screaming with delight.
Well, it was a very easy pattern to knit. It was very easy to modify, and you know, it wasn't difficult at all. And so I would really recommend this, even just for a beginner knitter. If you want to start, trying something like a shawl or a shawlette, and you're a little bit nervous about construction, this is a great way to start out because it's just a little bit modified from a normal, shawl construction.
True.
And so you can kind of ease your way into it. We're all about that.
And the result is just gorgeous.
Yes. And I like that it turned out longer. In the picture, on the pattern, she has it's just kind of over like one shoulder, and this I'm able to put about,
what would you call it?
Like a kerchief kind of thing.
Kind of like a kerchief.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this way I'm able to wrap it around and have both ends in the front.
And will you put your modifications in your project notes?
Yes, I already did.
Great.
Yay.
So I can steal.
There you go.
Those.
Yes.
I did. Actually, part of my spinning was spinning the the Wool Sunday fiber,
Yes.
the other skein. So I have 2 skeins of this, and
So
it is
gorgeous.
already working. So I love it, and I just think that fiber, that Polworth, is fabulous.
Can I just say, I know that it's unreasonable for me to expect that you're going to give me all of your hand spun all the time, but that's not going to stop me from wanting it. I'm just letting you know.
Well, you know what? I may be feeling like I'm all done with it by the time I finish my scarf, and I'm thinking I may only use one of these balls on the scarf. So you may get this, and you can make something pink for you.
Oh, you heard it here first, people.
I dropped something. Okay.
We're a little bit clumsy today. Have you noticed? We're dropping things left and right.
We actually need like a table close to us because everything's at our feet. Although we could pick them up with our toes and do that as another stunt.
Oh,
you know.
tricks. I love it. Okay.
All right, so this is the other one. Now, what I want to show you first, let me give you a close-up look. This is from an Etsy vendor who is called, and it's really looking washed out, but it's actually super rich. She is I was going to say she's Wool Sunday. This one is not Wool Sunday. Everything else is. But this is from Purple Goddess Designs. She's also a fabulous baker. And I don't know how well known she is. I know she's wanting to expand her shop at one time. But this is reds, yellows, green, and gray. Mm-hmm. And the colorway is called Pretty Japanese. Is it painted Japanese leaves or pretty Japanese
Pretty
leaves?
Japanese leaves.
Okay.
We have our notes right now.
I
That's why I'm
got
pointing. Do you see them? They're right there.
pretty Japanese, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's right in front of me.
Surprise.
So I wanted to show you because I did get 2 braids of this. Because I think it's really interesting to see the beginning, the before and after.
Yeah.
All right?
That is so interesting.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Now, because I'm going to try and block some of that sunlight to get a better color for you. But you see there's yellow, and actually it looks like yellow and black, which is making the green. And then there's a nice cherry red, white. What else do I see? And so that, it's splotches of color. It's not done like a lot of times dyers will do sections of colors, but it's splotches. And what it does is create this heathered effect that is quite lovely. And I will have pictures at the end so you can maybe get a better sense of the color. But it's super fun to spin, but boy, that's a pretty wild and crazy yarn. So now I'm not really sure. I wanted to do a scarf, that's why I have so much.
Yeah.
But what I decided was there's so much happening here that I asked Peggy if she would be
Of the 100th sheet.
of the one. I know I keep calling her by her first name. The 100th sheet, Peggy. I asked her if she'd be willing to dye up a complimentary skein for me, and I want it in a gray.
That's a good idea.
So she is playing around with modeled. A fiber that is modeled blacks on a cream base that should spin out as a gray for me. That's more tonal, because I want it to be of a similar quality of like how yours was not a really bright solid, but it was a tonal kind of a washed look.
Right.
And I think with this one, because of how it grayed out those white places in the original braid, created a graying effect. And so I want to make sure that it's of a similar family. So even though this one is from
Purple Goddess.
Purple Goddess Designs.
Remembered.
Cute cards, cute. And but I'm going to have the matching fabric made by Peggy, just because we have a working relationship going, and I'm trying to support the person I have a working relationship with.
Absolutely.
And I have been busy as a beaver. You know how busy a beaver is. I almost didn't come up with the beaver analogy. I would have had another faux pas with my sayings, but we have plans, Peggy and I, for something super fun for the group. I don't want to announce it because we're not ready.
My lips are sealed.
Do not. All of you are sworn to secrecy. So, fun things.
They don't know what it is yet.
I'm not going to tell them.
Yeah.
You're sworn
to secrecy of the thing that you don't know.
You
Okay,
don't
people?
know. Don't tell the thing you don't know.
That's right.
Yeah. So fun things coming. Just be
Yes.
prepared that behind the scenes, so many fun things.
It's true.
So please keep coming back, and if you're new,
Yeah.
come back again. That was not really smooth, was it?
That's okay. It's all good. You got the point across. Yes. So what do we have next?
So, in Gilding the Lily, my story last week about running out of yarn for my Tunisian crochet.
Yes.
Whatever that was, it's probably written down here. Anyway.
Your Snapdragon shawl.
Snapdragon, that was it. And so, I need to write that down here, don't I?
Probably. That's okay, though.
So, I had called Julie Spence. I didn't call her. I texted her. And she was gracious enough to come up with this beautiful green colorway. It's not exactly the same. It's actually more yellow. I'm going to see if I can stand up and block the light and help.
Oh, that's better.
Okay? But it's still not showing as yellow as what it actually is. But it's just a lovely golden green. And she dyed that up for me. It's called Olive. And so that's going to replace the inadequate or insufficient yarn section that I had for the lace weight part of the Tunisian crochet shawl. So yay for Julie Spence. I mean, I just ordered it and it came like a couple days ago.
That's impressive.
Super speedy. I think it's within a week of when I talked to her. And that's not normally what she promises, but she was just extra sweet.
She was on the ball.
And I have to say, Julie Spence has been consistently an amazing dyer. I'm going to show you her tag. And go on her group. She does a really fun thing.
What is it?
So you join her group, and she calls them unclubs. A lot of people complain about yarn clubs because you get stuff and you don't really want it.
Right.
Even though it's fun to get a surprise in the mail, technically, most people want something they want.
Yeah, I'm too controlling to become a part of a yarn club.
Are you?
Way too controlling.
Okay.
I know this is probably really shocking to all of you.
So you...
Definitely not to you.
But you would love this because what she does is every month she has one of her custom dye colorways that she does. And it's a surprise what it's going to be.
Right.
And she offers it on 2 different bases. You can choose the base.
Ooh.
This time it was just, it was my kind of color. It's always my kind of colors because she does these really saturated and tonal ones that make me go, So, Julie Spins is a vice for me.
Yeah.
So go and join her group. And what you do is you tell her what you want. She dyes it up and invoices you at the end of the month.
Very cool.
And so you participate if you want to, if you don't, and then she doesn't have a bunch of dyed up yarn that is just sitting there in her shop.
Right.
But go to her shop right now because it's stocked, and I'm telling you people, usually there's not one skein in her shop because it sells that quick.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's quit her day job and she's dyeing full time.
She didn't tell me.
Did
she tell you?
She didn't.
I feel like we're growing apart.
I know, it's sad, huh?
It is.
Yeah.
Let's reconnect.
I feel very connected to these people, and they have no idea who I am.
I feel the same way.
I call her Julie, like I know her.
Yeah, hello.
All right, anyway, that was my fun thing. The other thing I did was, it's on its way. I ordered fiber, surprise. It's called Berries, and it's Colombian fiber.
Huh.
I should really ask because this is from Eternity Ranch Knits Etsy store.
Oh, she's in our group, isn't she?
She's in our group. Tammy74.
Yay.
I missed her name, but she's Tammy74, so you can look it up.
So.
But it hasn't arrived yet. She's mails on weekends, and so it'll be coming, I'm sure, soon. But we're like a rural route, so if you mail something to me, well, not like I'm expecting you to mail something, but in the world where I order something and it's mailed to me, it's usually delayed by days more than what they say it will be.
It kind of depends. Sometimes...
Now, Amazon, they're pretty reliable.
Yeah, but that usually, I don't think that usually comes like through the mail. That's like UPS or something.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I happened to buy something too. Shocking. Well, since Camp Luby Project 1 is almost over, because that's for the month of June, I needed to buy my yarn for Project 2. Project 2.
You needed to.
I had to.
I mean, really.
They had my arms tied behind my back. I was like, please let me go. And they said, order yarn first. And so I did.
Whoa.
I know. It was intense.
That's close.
Yeah. So Project 2 I told you what Project 1 was based on. Project 2 is you are knitting something inspired by a place that you have been on vacation.
Oh, how fun.
Yes. And so I found one of my favorite vacations was my honeymoon. And since Brian and I got married in San Diego, we rented a Mustang convertible and we drove up the coast of California. We stopped in Napa, we stopped in San Francisco, we stopped in San Luis Obispo. We stopped at a lot of places, and we just had such a good time.
Yeah.
And not just because it was our honeymoon, but just because it was just it was just a good time. So fun seeing all these different places, and some places that I had been and some places that I hadn't. And one place that I hadn't been before was called Mendocino, and it's up closer to like the Oregon border. And I'm going to show you the pattern. Yes.
Am I remembering right? Isn't Mendocino where Murder, She Wrote was filmed?
I think so. I could be wrong.
Murder, She Wrote. She always at the end of this.
She's very disappointed.
I'm a big fan of Angela Lansbury. I want to be her when I grow up.
You totally will too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I found a pattern on Ravelry called Mendocino Scarf. It's designed by Isabel Brem, and let me show you what it looks like.
So pretty.
So this is what it looks like right there.
Beautiful.
And it's really more of like a shawl shape, but this pattern,
When you say shawl shape, are you meaning triangle?
well, no, I mean it's not like a triangular shawl.
Is it crescent?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This calls for 400 meters of yarn, and I have to use 600 for this challenge, so I had to buy 2 skeins of yarn. I know.
The things you do.
I know. For my
Fit in
love.
with the crowd.
Yes.
Oh.
So I bought some Malabrigo sock.
I love that.
In the Playa colorway. Can you see that? There we go. And so I'll use 600 yards of this. I'll end up with a little bit of extra left over. Darn it.
I'll take it.
And playa is, of course, the Spanish word for beach. And so here we have the yarn and it's like blues and browns.
The greens just aren't showing up today.
No, there's just a tiny bit of green.
It's just such subtle coloration,
Yes.
but it is fabulous.
And so that's going to end up being my Mendocino. And that I get to start that on Tuesday because that's the 1st of July. So I'm very excited about that. You can almost see the colors better from back here. Look at that.
It's the 1st of July on Tuesday?
Yeah.
What the heck?
I know. It's going by so fast. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's my beautiful yarn that I'm
it's
so
fabulous.
excited about. I have, I think 3 skeins, other than this, 3 skeins of Malabrigo sock in my stash that I've never used because it's so pretty.
Yeah.
So this is kind of forcing me to use something. I don't feel like I'm losing yarn.
Malabrigo
Hard to describe.
and Dream in Color.
Beautiful.
Those are 2 like tops for me because they're like Julie Spins and their saturation of color.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And you know, the Malabrigo is surprisingly affordable because it was, I can't remember if it was $17 or $18 a skein.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, a lot of sock yarns are like $20 and above, you know, depending on what you're buying. And so it was surprisingly affordable. I don't think I realized how affordable it is.
yeah. Now, am I remembering right, but with Camp Loopy, if you're part of it, don't you get a discount?
Yes, if you order during their Camp Loopy ordering week. Now you can order anytime and you just tell them this is for Camp Loopy, but they have a specific week, which is like in the middle of the month, and you order, and if you say this is for Camp Loopy, these skeins, you specify which ones, because sometimes people throw other things in their carts. I totally do. Then the ones that are for Camp Loopy, you get a 20% discount on. And that's like a win-win for everybody, especially for me.
Boy, you could plan a lot of your knitting for the Camp Loopy and get it, do a discount.
Right. So I know, a lot of people use Camp Loopy to kind of kick off their Christmas knitting and, things like that.
Good idea.
That's what I did last year. I did, each month of Camp Loopy, I did a different Christmas present, which I think worked out really, really
Great
well.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
So that is what I bought.
friend. I messed up on Ruthie's Ravelry name. Poor
Sorry,
thing.
Ruthie.
I did Lava, which I probably did it because she's hot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's hot. But her Ravelry name is R Laba 51
With a B.
with a B,
Not a V.
not a V.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you, Ruthie, for your great question. And that, unfortunately, poor Ruthie, she not only got the name, I got the name wrong, but she was in the middle of the whole Martina debacle.
Oh, goodness.
But she got clarification, which is basically I knit 24/7. How do I get so much done? I don't sleep and I knit all the time. So she was very gracious about the whole thing, and I appreciate that. So I will probably make mistakes again, and I actually thought about opening a thread for maybe I don't know if I want to do it as private messages, if I want to do a thread for corrections if we have if we put a wrong link or something like that, so people can look like errata for our podcast.
Oh, goodness. Oh, gosh.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully it won't be too often, but
Yeah.
it's probably likely to happen because a lot of times I'm doing these things at up until 2 a.m. trying to get something done. I'll start after this afternoon after we're done, and then I go into the evening until I'm finished because I have to finish. I'm just like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it's a great name. Are you kidding me? I loved that.
So perfect.
So thank you, Sheila, and thank you, Ruthie, for being a good sport about me getting your name
Yes.
wrong. Anyway, we love you. Yay, my stitch markers from
They did actually arrive.
China actually arrived. I wanted you to see. They are rainbow colored.
Fun.
All right, but I also wanted to show you in comparison to my hand. Do you notice? This is 100 markers, stitch markers, yeah.
Wow.
That doesn't look like very much.
It doesn't.
So when I said I ordered hundreds of markers, John was watching the podcast at that part.
Yeah.
And I said, it's like $1.66 for
Right.
these, So he's like, hundreds are coming to the house.
Hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah. So anyway, but I think it's kind of fun. Some of you, it's hard to show it without dumping them all on the floor. But if you can see, there's a bright orange. The colors are all washed out. But it's a bright orange, bright red, navy blue, green, yellow. There you go. Pink.
Awesome.
Fun assortment. So I've gotten one. The second package hasn't arrived yet, but... So I went ahead, I'm including the link again this week so that if some of you want to have them. Now I will say, I don't remember the brand that they sell at on some of the online stores that are the pink and the teal, those ones.
Clover.
Is it Clover? These are, you want to feel, I don't think they're quite as sturdy, but they're not flimsy either.
Yeah. You've ordered stitch markers before that were a lot more flimsy than this.
Yeah. So I am pleased with these. And I love the fact that they're in different colors because you can color code things. But I am very happy that I ordered them. So anyway.
That's good.
I'm going to have full markers now.
What do you do now?
Go stick them here. Do you want me to push some buttons?
You have to
while I'm up
podcast like this the rest of the time.
here? Yeah. All right, so that was it's a good thing.
Yes.
So, did you have any knitting bag that you used today? Because I used a Hefty Ziploc. If you want a link for Hefty Ziploc.
I used a 31 gifts bag.
Oh, good idea. 31 bags. I wonder if people know about 31 bags.
I'm sure a lot of people do. This is the Retro Metro bag, and I love it. It's great for large projects, which, I have several skeins of yarn.
It's a soft body bag.
Yes.
Sold at a home party, but you can also do internet sales.
And I'll throw a link in there.
And they have different fabrics that they release different seasons.
This is an older bag. This is from probably like 3 years ago. So you won't find this fabric available anymore, but there's lots of fabrics that are beautiful too.
They probably retire them. Now, does this one have a key holder on it?
Let me see.
I was thinking mine did.
Yes.
Okay, and what I love about this is, and I'll bring it up another time, but I told you last week about having some of my tools on a keychain, and it has a clip on it, and so I will, in bags that have the carabiner clip holder things, I'll clip it there so it doesn't fall to the bottom.
And this also has an inside zipper right here, and then these two pockets. So I like it. It's a great bag. It holds a ton of stuff. I mean, look at how huge it is. It's pretty big.
That's a beautiful fabric.
Thank you. I made it myself.
All right, so in It's a Good Thing, we decided to include any new podcasts we're watching, and I went on a podcast binge.
You did the same thing that I did last week.
Exactly. I was so inspired by what you did. I thought, I really need to go and search out some people I haven't met yet. I mean, because I'm so glad for the people that have been willing to take a chance on us.
Right.
So some of these are not new people, but they're new to me. Okay? So Two Tangled Skeins. She joined the group too.
Sue.
Sue, she mentioned us on her podcast, and I'm enjoying her. They are good knitters.
Yeah.
And they have a good time. I watched some of the older episodes, and there was a lot of hilarity. It was very fun, so I enjoyed that. Check out Two Tangled Skeins. I first found them on YouTube, but I think they have a iTunes account.
Okay.
I think. But if I'm wrong, if they're not on iTunes, then check them out on YouTube.
Okay.
Barmy Girls. Did you get a message?
I did. I haven't had a chance to find them yet, though.
Okay. Two Tangled Skeins is a video podcast. Barmy Girls is audio. Oh my goodness. They are from, I don't know, somewhere in England. And they are fun. They have a song at the beginning about mittens.
Nice.
Mittens, mittens, mittens. And it's all about that. It's very fun. But the podcast is like, going to a fun knitting group, and they have an accent.
I love that.
Well, they probably think we have an accent, but still. So
Ahoy
fun.
there, matey. Oh, no, that's not an accent. That's like a character. Sorry.
Pirates? Yeah, where do pirates come
Arr.
from? Very fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's totally the same.
The other one, okay, call me a prude, but I felt a little embarrassed saying it. But she was a really good podcast.
Do you want me to say it?
Would you?
It's the Yarngasm podcast. Oh.
So.
Hosted by Full and Vine.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's beautiful. Oh my goodness. Gorgeous.
She does beautiful dyeing.
And. Uh-oh.
Fax coming in.
Oh no. Last week I unplugged the fax. What can we do?
Not a whole lot. It's coming in.
Enjoy the fax.
Yes.
So, anyway, she is Volenvine. Yeah, she's been, I think she did an interview this week with, and I'm going to forget her name. She does is it the Dyer's Notebook or something? I haven't watched
that one yet.
Okay. In vague terms, it's another dyer, and she teaches you how to do what she does, which is fabulous of her to do. But they're both about the same age and very beautiful young girls and passionate about the fiber arts. And Volenvine does yarn, like knitting yarn, not fiber. I haven't seen her do fiber, at least.
Sure.
So, but she has some really fun colorways. So I'm really interested in trying some of her stuff. Really enjoyed her podcast. A Down Under yarn, and she was just at, what was it called? Zombie
Knitpocalypse.
Came all the way from Australia or New Zealand or something, some other Down Under place, and went to the Zombie Knitpocalypse. They were having way too much fun. Did you totally feel jealous?
I did.
I felt fine about my decision not to participate in that because financially it's not a good idea for us right now.
Right.
But afterwards I thought, I wish I would have gone. So she's good. She's a dyer too, and she has a dye shop, which I'm not going to remember the name of that either, but check out her podcast. She'll tell you all about it. All right, and that was it for new podcasts for me. So very fun, and all the ones that are in our thread for, tell us about your podcast. I've listened to all of those and found some great ones. That's how I found Two Tangled Skeins.
Excellent.
So that's really fun. So if you have a podcast, if you have an Etsy shop, whatever,
we want to hear about it.
Yeah, let us know.
Yes.
Okay. Next on the list, I just wanted to mention a couple things that some of you may not have hung with us long enough to learn, and that is right after we say goodbye, we go into an encouraging word, and we're going to call that segment Bless Your Heart. And we start out in the beginning wanting to make sure that it's fun for you and it's fun for us, but it's also an encouraging word that sometimes we all need that little boost for our day. And so you'll see right afterwards a verse that we have chosen just for this episode for you guys. And one of Brianne's children is going to, as long as I can hog tie them and get them to say it, Brianne does it. So she makes them. I'll spank you if you don't say that Bible verse.
Not.
You probably do.
No. I lure them to me with hugs and kisses.
She doesn't spank them, and that would be really mean to spank somebody to say a Bible verse.
That's right. That's horrible. Oh my gosh. Don't do that. No.
So I'm hoping you stay long enough to hear my sweet grandchildren.
I don't know if they're going to stay long enough this time. Do you see how long the podcast is this week?
Oops. Oh, well.
It's ridiculously long.
Just fast forward through things, okay? All right. And the last thing we talked about already, postcards from the Ozarks will come at the end of the podcast. Also, all of our projects. And so that's basically it. It was just my commercial to see if you guys will stay long enough for that. And I think maybe a little feedback would be in order, because it is a lot of extra work to include the little bits of the Ozarks for you at the end.
Right.
And so if it's not really something you're interested in, because it's not about knitting, let us know. And if you like it, let us know that too. And then we can decide if we want to continue doing that. But I just love where we live, so it's fun to share.
Excellent.
Are we done?
I think that's it. We've checked everything off of our list.
Everything's checked.
Well, we're so glad that you came and hung out with us today, and we really appreciate you being here. And we will see you next time.
See you next time.
Just remember that you are knitworthy. Bye.
Bye-bye.
God makes his people strong. God gives his people peace.